السادة والسيدات، التالي عرض بعنوان استخدام البيانات لإدارة مخاطر سلاسل الإمداد، يقدمه رئيس وحدة المقاييس الدولية بالاتحاد الدولي للنقل الأستاذ باتريك فيليب.
Assalamu alaikum. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear professional, dear participants. It's an honor and a privilege for RU to be present once again in the Saudi Supply Chain Conference. We are very much looking forward to the discussion and following what has been discussed yesterday, the contribution to drive Saudi Vision 2030. For those that are interested in tier and better understanding how the tier system can facilitate transport and trade and the exports, I invite you to join the workshop that will take place in room Paris B at 11 o'clock. If you're here with me today, it's to listen on how companies are managing their risks on road transport to ensure efficient supply chains. So, who I am, who is RU? RU is the International Road Transport Organizations that represents the industry worldwide. I will not go in the details because I believe that one image is worth 1,000 words.
Look beyond. What do you see? Safer people and roads. Greater sustainability. Shared prosperity. This is what we see. We, IRU, the World Road Transport Organization, the voice of more than 3.5 million companies, through members in more than 80 countries, with one vision: connecting societies with safe, efficient green mobility and logistics, helping people and goods move, crossing borders, building global standards, championing excellence as the voice of the road transport industry. Look beyond. Together, we shape the mobility and logistics of tomorrow. Together, we work for a world in motion. Will you join us?
Road transport is a supply chain enabler. If you don't get transport, your supply chains won't work. What is the biggest issue for road transport today and has a major impact on supply chain? The bigger risk is safety. World Bank studies highlights that for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, about 4% of the GDP is allocated to the cost on unsafe roads. As said, if your transport chains get disrupted, your supply chain will be disrupted as well. That's where quality in transport is key to the success of your supply chains. What we know is that 90% of the accidents are due to the human factor. And in commercial road transport, 20% of drivers are involved in about 80% of the crashes and 76% of violations. And overall, in transport operation, about 30% of the cost is linked to the human factor. Who hasn't heard about that? Just the speakers that were in the panel before highlighted the importance of human capital to ensure growing economies and societies. But what happens if we are not investing in the human capital? Today, according to our latest study, the road transport industry is missing 2.6 million professional drivers worldwide. Just in Europe, we are lagging 500,000 commercial drivers. What is the impact? The impact is that the trucks are idle. The impact is that the food is not delivering into the supermarket. You certainly have seen pictures of empty shelves. The impact is that the goods are not delivered to the factories. Road transport is a supply chain enabler. Well, driving today is a profession. It's not just sufficient to have a driving license. That used to be the case decades ago. Why? Because commercial road transport vehicles today are complex devices. They're carrying you supply. And again, if they don't go to destinations, your supply chain will be distorted. Who is ready today to board a plane if you're told that the pilot is not well qualified? Please raise your hands. Who is ready today to put their children on board on a bus if you would know that the driver is not a professional driver, well qualified? Who is ready today to rely on their transport operation to unprofessional companies? Nowadays, leading companies invest. They know that it's not just sufficient to have a reactive approach. They become proactive because they know what is the cost of risks. Let's take an example, and you're well placed. A lot of road transport is also used in order to transport energy, in order to make factories work, the aircon system work as well, hence providing comfort to all of us. What happens if one of these vehicles has an accident? And an accident is not just necessarily because of a driving condition. It can happen at loading, at unloading. It can happen because the emergency procedure that are taken into account by the person in charge of the vehicle are not properly managed. Driving a commercial vehicle today is a profession. Most leading companies understood that. They invest in ERPs in order to manage their operation. They invest in transport management system, TMS, to manage their fleet. But they also invest in people and in solutions to manage their talents. It's not only enough to know that you have a licensed driver who acquired a driver license. You need to have proper skills profiling related to the task your driver are operating. That's how leading companies are driving their transport operation today to ensure safety, professionalism, and excellence. That's what we are working at. We at RIU are working in more than 40 countries, driving professional standards for the road transport industry. We are setting the standards, notably, as an example, how you load and you secure your cargo, in order to make sure that if there is a movement of the cargo is not falling on other road users, damaging the infrastructure, and unfortunately, even worse, possibly killing people. But any damaged cargo, even if we are not going to that level of seriousness, will have an impact on your insurance, on claims, and it will be disrupting your supply chain. By developing standards, we're also making sure that those that are involved in the industry to train the people that are on the road demonstrate the best standards. We are training them, we are certifying them, and we are accrediting the training institute to make sure that they demonstrate the best professional standards in order to grow the skills and the knowledge required to operate in our industry. So how we do that? First, we define skills profile. And a skills profile will differ. If you're operating as a driver transporting hydrocarbon products, you will have to have the proper knowledge and skill to manage the whole transport supply chain of these products. If you're a driver that is involved in driving steel pipes, food, temperature controlled, medicines, you have to have the right knowledge and the right skills to operate those transports. They're all sensitive goods in their way. Those skills profiles differ. If you are involved in transporting people in mobility, driving kids to school, it's a different job than you have involved in transporting LNG. You need to have interactive content. You will, unlike academics, commercial drivers will not absorb information by reading books. They won't absorb information by getting a 400-page manual. You need to have engaging activities that talks to them, leveraging their own channel of learning. But what we do as well, we're obviously leveraging practical, immersive experiences. And at any time, we are using digital devices to record the performance of the drivers. Why recording performance of the drivers? Because, as it was said before by Engineer Abdullah, what you can't measure, you can't manage. And today, leading companies, they want to manage their operations, but they want to manage their teams. And they want to make sure that if there is a safety issue or a performance issue in any area, you can work in order to address it, so that you get the confidence that your transport operation will be run in a safe and a professional manner. So we provide digital dashboards to companies. They can monitor their teams. They can monitor the companies and how the teams are performing within the companies. But they can also break down to business units. They can break down to subcontractors, analyzing subcontractor performance, making sure that you work with the right subcontractor and that the subcontractor is investing in its team. You can have safe vehicle. If you don't have a safe team operating those safe vehicle, your operation will be unsafe. 90% of the accidents are due to the human factor. But you also get that data at the driver level, because you need to make sure that at the driver level, you can have the corrective actions for you to be restful and peaceful. And make sure that when you hand out the key of your vehicle to the driver, that operation will be performed according to your standards. Data provides trust. Data provides reliability. Data provides recognition and helps get more activities and businesses. Because you, contractor, will be relying on you providing the trust and the evidence that you deliver the highest standard services. Professional qualification requires recognition. So those professional drivers or managers in the road transport supply chain deserve the recognition when they demonstrate that they comply with the highest professional standards. And the companies that are applying those standards also get distinctions from international standards that they are applying and complying with. Yesterday, the excellencies that were here were highlighting the importance of public-private partnership. They were highlighting the importance of international standards. We are working in more than 80 countries in public-private partnerships, working with governments in implementing international standards, international road transport facilitation instruments. When it comes to our contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, and notably on road safety, the UN Consolidated Resolution, the global UN Consolidated Resolution on road safety, recognizes our activity in helping to achieve road safety results. Again, the standards we are developing are instilled and disseminated in order to contribute to reduce the mortality on the road. Every year, we have 1.5 million people that are passing away on the roads, more or less. That's 3,000 a day. That's why we, at RIU, we would like to ensure that commercial road transport is delivered in a sustainable, in a professional, and in a safe manner. I thank you very much for your attention, and I invite you to visit us at booth D13 if you would like to discuss with us on how we can collaborate in driving road transport service excellence and ensuring continuity and sustainability of your supply chain.